Have you ever walked around with something uncomfortable? A pebble in your shoe, a loose thread on your shirt, and just left it there? Not because you couldn't fix it, but because you'd gotten used to it. Because somehow it became part of your routine. We all do that, in small ways. Until someone asks, "Why are you still carrying that?" There was a young man who worked at a small cafe in the city. He was quiet, kind, and always ready with a smile. But he walked with a slight limp. It wasn't obvious unless you watched him closely. A soft, uneven rhythm in his steps. Most customers didn't notice. Some assumed he had an old injury. No one ever asked. Except one day after closing time, the cafe owner, an elderly man who had watched the boy grow into his role, leaned back in his chair and asked gently, "Does your leg hurt?" The boy paused, surprised by the question. "No, sir. It's not pain, really. Just a habit, I guess." "A habit," the old man echoed. The boy hesitated, then took off his shoe. Inside, taped to the insole, was a single silver coin. Worn, old, slightly bent at the edge. The owner blinked. "You've been walking on that?" The boy smiled, but it was a tired, knowing smile. "When I was a kid, I used to steal. Nothing big. Candy, small toys, a few coins. My dad found out. He didn't shout. He didn't hit me. Instead, he gave me this coin, taped it inside my shoe and said, 'Every step you take, remember what dishonesty feels like. It stays with you until you choose to take it out yourself.'" He laughed softly. "I changed. I stopped stealing. I grew up. But the coin, I never took it out. I guess part of me felt like I didn't deserve to." The cafe owner was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, with a voice as soft as evening rain, "Maybe it's time to forgive the boy you were, and walk freely as the man you've become." The boy didn't answer, but he looked down at the coin, really looked at it. And for the first time, he seemed unsure whether he needed it anymore. You see, sometimes we carry the weight of our past, not because it still teaches us, but because we've convinced ourselves we must. We limp not from pain, but from guilt. We keep the coin in our shoe long after we've paid the price. But maybe, just maybe, the lesson has already been learned. And maybe the bravest thing isn't carrying the weight, but choosing to let it go.